All right, y'all. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome back, family. We back for another session here. Plot in progress. We got the crew in the building. What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing?
All is well.
Doing great. Blessed.
Sir, so man, we've got a special episode for you tonight, man. We're coming to you live. This is another live broadcast. And for anybody that's tuning in with us, we want to let you know that this is an interaction. So we're doing this particular podcast as an interaction regarding our upcoming Legacy Camp orientation. And how this works is that if you drop any comments inside the chat, we can see those comments immediately. It allows us to be able to display those comments to you all as well, and for the entire audience. So any questions as you jump in, you have any questions or any comments or anything that you want to say regarding what we're doing here tonight in this space, definitely feel free to drop those in the chat, and then we'll be able to pick up on those and to answer any questions that may come in as well. So without further ado, man, I guess we y'all want to go ahead and roll. Let's roll our footage.
I want to have a opening remark just to get things started, if you guys don't mind. All right, so I want to make sure that I thank all the families that are watching, that are either live right now or tuning in later. I'm sure that we're going to save the recording and email it to the families who were unable to be present right now. But we want to welcome and thank everybody for joining us this evening. We're truly honored to have you here as we prepare for another powerful year with the Legacy Camp. My name is Brother James. On behalf of the entire team, I want to say how excited we are to walk alongside your child's journey. Legacy Camp is more than just a camp. It's a transformational experience rooted in love, leadership, and legacy building for our youth. Tonight we are going to have that 25-minute video. And it should encapsulate pretty much the mission and what your child should expect during the journey. And again, after the video, we'll definitely open it up for Q&A. So please stay to the end if you have any questions. Peace.
And speaking of which, Brother James, I think it's a great call out as well for us to hit you with the mission statement. So you guys know that here at the Growth Spot, we're unified in action to build, protect, and expand a fruitful legacy of love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperation, and yield by inspiring and educating on the practices of agriculture, self-care, environmental stewardship, entrepreneurship, and nutrition. We aim to cultivate a vibrant community that's rooted in resilience and sustainability. And that's the mission statement and the mission for what we're going to accomplish with this particular episode, as well as with our journey with the young men when we head up to Legacy Camp. Now, if you haven't already signed up, your young man, there is still opportunities that are available. The camp is coming up the 24th, man, 24th through the 26th. So, we understand that you may be a little bit late, but if you're late to the party, we do still have a few slots that are available. So, just jump on, tap in with us. Go to growthspot.org/camp. That's where you can find all information regarding the camp itself. So we look forward to seeing your young man there as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll the footage. And as the footage is coming in, for the parents that have decided to join us as well, feel free. You can throw any comments in as well. And if there's anything that stands out to you, just drop it in the comment in the chat, and then we'll comment and address any of those questions. And then after the video is done with, we'll also take the opportunity to open it up as well for any questions. So let's go ahead and roll it.
Legacy Camp experience. And it is a 3-day young men's retreat at Lyman Lake State Park, where we are also going to journey over to our 37.5 acres that we have that are just adjacent to that area as well. So that being said, I want to cover the mission statement really quick, and then I'll hand it off to, I think, Brother Crondo to take us through the next piece as well. Our mission is simple. Here at the Growth Spot, we are unified in action to build, protect, and expand a fruitful legacy of love, equity, growth, ancestral, cooperative yield by inspiring and educating on the practices of agriculture, self-care, nutrition, environmental stewardship, and entrepreneurship, we aim to cultivate a vibrant community rooted in resilience and sustainability. So that said, to kind of get us started and get us jumped off here, Brother Crondo, you mind giving us the pieces on the slide here with the 3-day Young Men's Retreat?
Basically, it's a 3-day, 2-night camping adventure. We'll be at Lyman Lake State Park, which is about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes from our actual acreage that we have there. So it's just a journey from the urban landscape from here to the beautiful St. John, Arizona, which is Apache County, I believe.
Yep.
So the retreat is basically designed for young men to learn, bond, grow, all while contributing to the meaningful cause from the land development. So basically, we'll be out there doing like some concrete work on the actual acreage. We'll be doing some yoga, breath work, a little bit of hiking, a little bit of fishing, and then basically just embracing nature. Because I notice when you're out there, you kind of, once you detach it, you're not connected to these devices, like mind kind of opens up to new things like out there. So that's the main thing why we're.
And what's included?
So I can go. So what's included in the trip is going to be the transportation to and from Phoenix. We're just kind of going over the trip as of right now, and we're talking about what's included. The transportation to and from Phoenix is included. Will be meeting here. Drop your child off at no later than 7 a.m. All camping gear and materials will be included. Your young man will just need a sleeping bag, possibly a pillow if he chooses to do that as well. A sleeping bag and a pillow. All of the healthy, nutritious meals throughout the retreat will be provided. We can send you all the menu, but we do have the menu laid out. It's quick and easy things that we'll be able to kind of cook it all out there. It's not going to take too much out of us, but I think that's also an opportunity for us to bond together as well. We'll be cooking our own meals from the minimal items that we have. It won't be like going in your kitchen and being able to put together a meal. So we can put our minds together and really cultivate something that we could actually enjoy, and then sit down together and break bread.
We'll be open to you supplementing this meeting or like bring additional items with you. As long as we can put in an area where we can keep it refrigerated in a chest that we bring in, so if it's not large, I don't think it'll be an issue personally. I don't want to speak for the.
No, I agree. Okay, so that's good. Anybody else as far as the meals?
Any allergies?
Any allergies?
Allergies at all?
If you can make a note to anyone who may be watching online, if there are any allergies or dietary concerns, just send us a message. That way we can try to prep for it prior to the trip.
They put that in this on the spreadsheet though too, right? As far as I know, one child that had peanut allergies, but I don't know who it was.
Yeah, it should be part of the questionnaire when you signed up, but just in case, it's a reminder to anybody.
And then last but not least, as Brother Crondo went over some of the activities, we'll be doing archery, fishing, a concrete one-on-one workshop, breath work and yoga, and hiking. That's just a start. Of course, we'll come up with some other things while we get there, probably play some games, capture the flag, and different things like that. But for sure, we'll be doing archery, fishing, concrete, breath work, yoga, and hiking.
Dave, they going on without doing God. Somebody will be getting hit out.
So for day one,
So essentially, the morning we'll be departing here. And we feature no later than 7. It gives us a chance to get packed in. We can get the road by 8. We should get to the campground probably about 12. And so what we'll do on day 1 is we'll get set up at Lyman Lake. We'll be pitching our tents right around the lake there. And then that'll give us an opportunity to kind of go over some of the essential ground rules with the young men, talk about the expectations for what we'll be doing. That'll be an opportunity for us to have a little bit of lunch. And then in the evening, we'll have a chance to explore the surrounding areas on a guided hike. We'll probably unwind with some games, some fun activities to bond. One of the things that I'm mostly looking forward to is the evening fireside camp chat. So that's some of the things that will be taking place day 1.
Brother Colin, you want to say day 2?
Easier. My name's Kylan. I will be leading the activity for archery and also the concrete one-on-one. So that morning, on day 2, we'll head over to our
space that we own, our acreage, and we're going to engage in those developmental activities. So part of that is our labor effort for constructing a fence around the property. That's something that we've tasked ourselves with over the past several months, and it's going to be a continuing effort. So the young men that accompany us will also get a chance to kind of experience that, see what that's like, and also lend us an extra hand because I think we can use as many as we can get there. And in addition to that, obviously with the concrete 101 session, essentially we're going to do just a brief introduction on the components of concrete, what makes that up, but more importantly, the young men will get an opportunity to get hands-on experience with that if they haven't already. Now, it will be minimal in scale, but essentially, once you know how to do this, the same principles apply. Concrete is concrete. Aggregate, sand, water, and cement. That's what makes up concrete. So we will have those materials on hand. They'll get a chance to mix it and place it and watch it cure. And also, we're going to do something special with that I don't necessarily want to spoil, but essentially, they will be able to etch their presence in this particular space permanent. It's going to be so that's going to be cool. So for archery, I was actually spearheading a local nonprofit for several years in Phoenix Valley, where I was a certified archery instructor. So I do have 7 years experience as far as teaching archery under USA Archery, which is the national governing body for the Olympic effort in archery. So I was well immersed in that community here in the state. I led the only Black archery club in the state for 5+ years. So we'll do an introductory session with archery. And obviously archery is one of those things that have dual or multiple purpose. So it's not like just bouncing a basketball and that's the only purpose for it is on that court. With archery, obviously it's a sport, but it can also be a survival mechanism. And it can also be a personal defense mechanism. So we'll just kind of go through just a quick session just to kind of get their hands on the equipment, do it safely. And I think it's something that they will enjoy because before I got immersed in it, it was something that was outside of my line. I didn't know anyone that actually did it. It was just kind of something that you saw comic books or on TV, but to actually do it is something else. So I'm looking forward to that as well. So that also take place, from the morning throughout the afternoon. And then that evening, we intend to kind of gather around the bonfire session. And that's where we're really going to get a chance to bond, to converse, to build on some of these concepts as far as our vision for the land. And also hear our young brothers out, really hear what they're feeling. Because Brother Crondo spoke to something that's very significant earlier. When you're in these spaces out in the wilderness and you're stripped away from all of this big production that we sit in, it allows your mind to open up. So the concept of unplugging is essential to optimize this experience. So to be quite frank, this is probably what I'm looking forward to the most. Sitting around amongst the brothers with the young men, having those conversations, leaving it all on the table, per se. And then, so we'll just do that throughout the evening under the starlight. That's also a pretty significant part of this experience. If you've never been in a space without any light pollution, no air pollution, just clear sky, that's my favorite part. You can actually see the starlight, the full sky. I don't even know how to describe it. You have to experience it for yourself. It's full scale sky, uninterrupted. It's beautiful. I don't really know how to put that into words. So I'm pretty sure that's something that they will attempt to articulate to their parents and their peers and their family when they come home, because it is amazing. Yet it's so simple. Yeah. It's it's up there all day, all the time. So that's day 2 in a nutshell.
All right, so for slide 3, I'll take slide 3. Peace and blessings. All right, so peace and blessings, everybody. My name is Brother James. I am a Gung Fu practitioner, one of the mentors and members of the Book Squad. Would it be my responsibility for yoga portion of the event on day 3. So I spent over 30 years in martial arts. I have a dojo that I run in Peoria, where we practice Kung Fu. We do breathing techniques. We do Tai Chi. And as many of the brothers are talking about, when you go into the space, and the reason why we're doing this, so it's a transformative experience. We want to make sure that you can get a break from, the day-to-day activities that we normally wind up doing in the city, but just disconnect and be present with us, right? So we want to make sure that they're able to connect and root in that space and take it easy, and breath is a big part of that. So what I'm going to be focused on is having an introduction into yoga, explaining what that is, because whenever I say yoga, most of the time people are thinking about stretching, they're thinking about a yoga mat, they're thinking about, getting into particular poses. But it's about a lifestyle, it's about a mentality, it's about eating right, thinking right, and being present in the moment, not being distracted about what's going to happen in the future or being traumatized or held down by what happened in the past, but to be able to soak in the memory of where they are. So we're going to be practicing for a good period of time. And there's some locations that we found that overlook the lake that is just magnificent. And it's really a good experience when you're in that elevation where the air is cleaner. Now, I could try to have a yoga class here in the city, but to take a deep, full breath starts to, make people constricted when you get to a certain point and become a chest breather, because the air is healthy here. Some of us go on hiking trips in the valley, maybe once every month or once every 3 months, and when you get to the very top, you can see a brown haze over the whole city because we're living in a dirt bowl of pollution that doesn't get a lot of circulation. When we're heading up to St. John's, we're going into an elevated region. That's why we're talking about the stars. They seem so low to the ground because we're so high up. And when we're going to do our breath work in that location, it should be something they can feel and come back home and really have a good discussion about. And hopefully they carry on some of those practices. So that's going to be my thing. And then hopefully later I'll be able to get into some staff training. So I always like to teach the young men certain techniques on using staff for both survival and for self-defense.
Our pledge to the village. At the Growth Spot, we understand the profound trust you place in us when you send your child to our retreat. We want to assure you that their safety, growth, and well-being are our top priorities. We understand the significance of our role in your child's life during their time with us and take this responsibility with the utmost seriousness. We look forward to being part of their journey and thank you for your trust. Sincerely, Growth Spot. So we take this serious. This is what we do. Many of us have been mentoring for years. So we really do this genuinely for the youth. Like, we really care. Like, this is our passion. So we really, really want to thank everybody for trusting in us to be the mentors of your kids. Trust me, we appreciate this. Like I said, this is our passion. This is what we need to do. Not just to do it. You know what I mean? We want to see these children grow. And always know that we will all be their mentor, their uncle, whatever you want to call it. And we got them for the rest of the life. We on their head. If they want out, they got to get jumped. We're here.
So, and then of course the last slide here is about securing your spot. This is the very first of many, if that makes sense, of this opportunity for us to continue the retreat and continue to get more young men that experience, just the experience of what it is to leave the concrete jungle and to get out and tap into what nature is,
But moving forward, we would hope that you come back to the city, tell all your friends about the great time that you had, and encourage them to go on the next one as well.
What we're doing, and obviously the intent is for them to take it to the next level. Right. So they don't start off zero, right? I feel like every generation has been starting off zero. If we get it up to 50, we want y'all to take it to 2,000, and so on and so on. So that's another element that maybe isn't always articulated because we're actually doing that. We're walking in that. And I just want that to be noted as well.
Yep. Good point.
it helped us too, because, you know, as a mother, it's hard for me to understand sometimes, like my son's mannerisms, his anger, his aggression, and when I talk to you, it's okay, because those are things that are good traits about him. So as a mother, I be trying to tame him sometimes. So it's helpful to be around other young men that have gone through it, experienced it, and help remind me to allow him to be who he is and figure out who he's going to be.
I think that's the beautiful thing about us collectively is that each one of us, we know our own unique talents and
We're all different. We all learn from each other every time we get together.
Right.
It's so great when we're together because it's like the old adage says, iron sharpens iron. We're able to do that at a faster rate than what we normally would if we were just separated and doing our own thing.
Yeah, the important thing about that is like holding each other accountable, like the brother said. Like that's a real thing, you know. Accountability is a word that's widely used.
Mm-hmm.
It's ugly sometimes, right? But it needs to be, right? Because sometimes you got to cut through something, right? So that means I need to be sharp with this, brother. It's not personal, but this is what we got to do. This is what we agreed to. So having that sort of common covenant amongst each other and holding ourselves to that is very important. Very important.
Examples for our community.
All because we walk it.
Yeah.
Right. It only works because we walk it. We've all experienced some of the challenges and pitfalls that we're all being black in this country, being black males in this country. And so when he talked about accountability, imagine now being able to go back in time to when you were in your mid-teens and you had an accountability partner. Somebody that you had some more tied to other than, like you say, you dribble a basketball or we go to the same school, but there's more things that bind us. And so we go on this journey together as a collective, then I'm accountable for you and vice versa. We hold each other accountable and responsible for the things we say, the things that we're going to do. And it just continues to strengthen our bond and our resolve as a community. And I think that's the biggest thing that's what's missing is that that which ties us together. There is no incentive for me to care for you or to look out for you because I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. Right. But now coming from different places and parts of the city, parts of the valley, and being able to say, you know what, we went to this camp together, so we put our hands in this concrete, we've taken an oath, we've taken a vow. Now you're my brother. There's something more that unites us so that you can now take that with you into the world.
Right. So, and even there's like a group of young men that we take 2 years from now, they have something in common with the first guy. Matter of fact, when we talk about that legacy, you know, through the concrete, you're going to leave a mark on that land. So after a while, years into it, you're going to start like, these are the first group of young men that were on this space. So that's what I'm excited about. What is year 5? What is year 10 look like?
And the hope is, even if you can't come to every single camp, if we can have a reunion or we can bring people together, now it's an opportunity for the collective to come back together 5 years, 6 years, 10 years from now. You know, the things that are done at this junction are going to be there forever. Yeah. Right. So it isn't just about seeing what's done in 2024, but now what happens when it's 2034? You have a child and you want this child to go through the program. And so it's kind of like what we're doing today is we're building the community brick by brick.
Right. We can now more than just a sleeping bag, though, like, you know, of course, the toothbrush.
Okay.
Things.
Toiletries, right?
Yeah. Toiletries.
But there will be shower facilities that can be used. They ain't gonna be in the lake doing none of this. Yeah. As far as the return, I think it's safe to say that we plan to leave the property by 10, right? Check out to the 11, so we'll probably hit the road by 10. Puts us back here probably about 12:30, 1 o'clock the latest. But we can notify all of the parents when we're about to depart from the camp. And you can kind of figure that it was about a 4-hour time frame from the time to get back. So if that puts us here at 1, we would ask that in that 30-minute time frame you be here to pick up your kids, because the clock will start again on payments. If you have to take that got 30 minutes. That card.
So we departed.
Also send a message when we're about like an hour out.
Yeah, we'll be able to keep your breast on.
So 2 p.m. will be a safe
one
estimation. If we leave at 10, be roughly 2 if we get back here.
You can put mine on the bus.
Yeah, we put on.
Let's talk about the cell phone.
Documentation of the journey. We want them to be able to take pictures of the scenery, take pictures of the land, some of the different things that we're doing. But during the course of a lot of these activities, including like the bonfire chats, the fireside chats, there won't be any cell phone usage. So they're not going to be allowed to spend all day on their phone. There's going to be designated times when they'll be allowed to use it. And then after that, there will be no more phone. So I go to my kid over there in the corner. Ain't no service like that anyway.
It's like that. It's like that.
Emergency purposes, all of our phone numbers will be afforded to you, so you can reach out.
And mind you, we're not going to be having an organized activity the entire time. So if you have mobile, you use your phone for the reason. But when we're engaging in activity, everybody needs to be locked in on this.
This will probably be the least amount that they've been on their phones since they've had phones. So
I ain't bringing my phone.
I mean, there's no Wi-Fi password. No Wi-Fi password.
It depends on his way. No, everybody.
We're in the town St. John's. Yeah, they have service. There's still service, but when we get to like our acreage and a little bit, I didn't get service on Line Lake. Like, no, service provider. Yeah, it was still a provider, but it's not that. The service ain't that good.
And Verizon's okay out there, so. You got T-Mobile with it, you know.
Any other questions pertaining to the camp itself, pick up, drop off, menu, what items to bring?
You guys have everything that you need?
We got the tents, we got the poles, we got the archery,
Sleeping bag as well, so.
yeah. So yeah, just sleeping bags, toiletries, shoes for the shower. Yeah, man, what else?
All right, perfect, man. So that's the video. That's the footage right there from the from orientation. And so we did want to take this opportunity as well to make sure that we did our due diligence, open it up for people that have any questions. We see quite a few people that's been joining us. We appreciate you tuning in and tapping in on the social media platform. So yeah, please, we'll open it up for anybody that wants to drop any comments as well. And then and then let me open it up to the other brothers as well, so that everybody else is on here, anything else that needs to be shared, y'all feel free to take the floor.
Man, just appreciative to all the families and parents. Just to kind of add on to what Brother James kind of opened us up with, just extending gratitude for the families that have supported us, or if this is their first interaction with us through the camp. Just very appreciative that they are entrusting us with their children or their young men, of whatever that relationship is, and just looking forward to the experience again. It is a therapeutic experience for us as well. It's a productive journey for us as well, considering that we have projects that we're working on. So that just makes it all the better, and the fact that we can engage our youth in this matter, it just kind of enhances the entire thing. So, just want to extend gratitude. Thank you.
About to put these boys to work. Finish this fence up. Yeah, the same sentiments, man. Just gratitude to all the parents who trust us with their youth. Looking forward to returning them as better than how we received them.
Yeah, we do have one question as well. So, Kiana, welcome. We appreciate you being on as well. To a tent space. So it's we have a tent for each man. So each man that's going to be out there with us, we have a tent for every last one of them. So everyone will be able to have their own tent. So that's a great question, though.
Yeah, let's touch on the arrangement of the tents, right? So on the last effort, we kind of strategically positioned the tents in a manner which all of the adults or the guardians, right, we were positioned along the perimeter to sort of encapsulate all the young men in the center of that arrangement, just to ensure that we provide that buffer of safety, and we can kind of have that proper oversight on the collective.
Yo,
Yeah, great question. And then anybody that wants to jump on as well, so here's the link. I'll post that for you as well. So anybody that wants to jump on live stream with us live right now and come into the back end and jump on camera with us, we'd love to have you as well. If you got a question that you want to ask live, this is our link to be able to jump in and ask anything live if you want to as well. So feel free to join the live stream.
Yeah, I do want to touch on some of the packing list essentials that the young men should bring. I know that we had mentioned that, yeah, basically they just need to bring a sleeping bag. But in addition to that, let's make sure that they bring camp appropriate and weather appropriate, comfortable clothing, right? You know, we want to make sure that they're able to dress in a way that they could go hiking with us, they could go on the land, and they could do activities. There's a lot of young men who are wearing Crocs and some open-toe shoes. Closed-toe shoes would be best. Sneakers or anything that's closed toes or activities would be ideal. And then make sure that they have toiletries, a towel and a washcloth so that they can shower properly. And any necessary medications. Some young men have allergies or they have medicine that they need to take at certain times during the day. In addition to the medication, if you do have a child that needs to bring medication, please bring instructions so that the mentors can understand how best to administer or to monitor the process for you. So you can always email us and or talk to us the day of the departure and make sure that we understand how to use that medication and things to watch out for as far as symptoms so that we can make sure that we are mindful for your child. And then some things that your child should not bring. Avoid allowing your child to bring any tablet or gaming device. While your phone, the phone is okay, make sure that they don't bring any other type of electronic or expensive jewelry or valuables. Avoid candy, things like that. Meals and snacks will be provided. And definitely no weapons or anything inappropriate for a youth environment, right? Some children might try to sneak in some, knives or, cool things they want to show off to their friends, but be mindful to check through their inventory before we actually take off, just to make sure you know what your child is bringing in that space. I think Sister Kiana asked if earpods are okay. I'll leave that open to the group. I don't think that earpods is an issue while they're using their phone. We are going to limit the time that they use the phone. It was in the video earlier where we're going to be having orchestrated and organized activities. And during that time frame, all electronics is going to be banned, right? We're going to make sure that no one has access to those things. We want to make sure that they are locked in and focused on the experience. But while they have downtime, especially if they need to record something or talk to you, the parent, I don't think that AirPod would be too much of an issue unless the brothers disagree.
No, the only thing I would be mindful of with the AirPods is that children have a tendency to lose those things. Now there are some that are better with keeping up with their items than others, but that's the only thing I would just be aware of that. And to be honest with you, some may use it for bedtime, like listen to music or whatever for bedtime. For the most part, they're not even going to really have the time, the free time to really just necessarily use them like that. So, I mean, it's up to you, but again, I think that that's just something to be aware of is the fact that if I'm speaking from my children's standpoint, they have a tendency to lose things, especially when they go on trips. So that's yeah, great questions. Brother Anthony Wright in the house. Peace, brother. Welcome.
Peace.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so for those that are out there, let's say I'm a parent, I'm out there, you know, and I'm thinking of activities for my children to do coming up this summer, right? Why the legacy camp for? And this is out there. This is for the group. Why the legacy camp?
I would respond, why not? I mean, we're a collective of, you know, active Black men in our community. We're very intentional about not only this effort, but a lot of the other initiatives that we're involved in, from various aspects of the community, recreationally, community-based, giving back, educational platforms, all those things. And then we all have our own professional avenues that we frequent, obviously. So I feel that we're all walking examples. And quite frankly, we used to be them, right? We used to be those young kids with the ingenuity and the imagination, but more importantly, just the energy, right? The raw energy that a lot of our kids have. The current landscape is more conducive to like a more like sedimentary lifestyle where, you know, you either watch the TV, playing the games, or like on the devices. And yeah, there's sports programs and things of that nature, but any opportunity to kind of get outdoors, especially with a collective of like-minded individuals and peers, I feel like that's a tremendous luxury that we must take advantage of. And also, we are offering ourselves to supplement parental challenges that may be apparent to some of the young men, right? And perhaps they may not be as comfortable communicating that directly to their parent or guardian. So we are another resource that they can tap into if they, we're not probing or anything, but if they get a comfort level, they can open up and we're willing to listen, right? And I think what's important about that is that, we humanize ourselves to them and let them know that, hey, we don't have all the answers, but we do have the experience. And, we could just kind of further supplement some of that advice or information, or just, kids are curious, you know what I mean? And some kids don't have an opportunity to be around men in this manner, especially not in the landscape that we're going to be in. So it provides a unique opportunity because we're removing not all, but most of the distraction is being removed, right? So the mind, it's funny how quickly your mind can adjust to circumstances, right? And I think what is apparent to me when I'm out in the wilderness, my mental mode kind of shifts, right? Because we're so accustomed to just kind of being in, our typical day-to-day activity and conveniences and things of that nature. When you remove that, it kind of forces your mind to kind of recalibrate. So I don't know how to articulate that in a manner that is like, that speaks to what happens to the children, but I know what happens to my mind when I'm in that setting. So I think that just enriches the interpersonal interaction, that you almost have no choice because there's nothing else to do. We're out there in the wilderness and it's like, what else are you going to do? So eventually, everyone kind of warms up to each other. And that's something that was apparent to me last year because a lot of the young men didn't know each other prior to the trip. But by the end of the trip, it was almost like, a family reunion of sorts. And they were, all kind of corresponding with each other with a certain comfort level because we kind of like consolidated, a timeline of like getting used to somebody within a couple of days. And, they warmed up to each other and they started to open up and, we start to see their personalities. They start to see ours. And you can kind of see, that dynamic truly flourish. So that's what I would speak to as far as like, the question as far as like why they legacy camp. It's a very unique opportunity.
And
100%, man. And you bringing back some memories now, man, of that safe space. Yeah, what about you, Brother True? Why the legacy camp?
I mean, between what Brother James was saying in the video and what Kylon just said, like Kylon, I'll reiterate what Kylon said. We've been them young men, right? And the ages of 12 and 13, that's a very critical age. I know for myself, I was very inquisitive at that time. I had a lot of questions about things in the world, and you know, we all got these experiences, and we can share those with them at that critical age because you know, coming up in the public school system, I like to call it something else, but on this video, I'm gonna call it the public school system. There's certain things that are imposed and enforced on our youth that they're not going to get in that school system, but in this camp, oh, best believe they're going to get all that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just real excited, looking forward to it. I wish I had something like this when I was young. Only thing I went to was a basketball camp, Byron Scott basketball camp, which coincidentally was in Pine Top, close to where our acreage and whatnot is. But yeah, man, all our youth, I feel, could benefit from what we're putting together here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just proud to be a part of it. I'm just looking forward to our second annual one.
Legacy, man. Legacy. Brother James, what about you? Jump in there. Jump in there.
Yeah, so doubling down on what Brother Colin was saying, this is a transformative experience, right? And, you know, many of us have volunteered and served in the community as mentors. And, you know, what we've learned over the years is that you want a young man changed in some way after they've had time to experience that program, right? And it requires a covenant of trust, a circle of brotherhood. So a lot of the activities that we do are teaching leadership, is teaching teamwork. It forces them to get out their comfort zone, to work with each other to achieve a goal. And then we see that brotherhood happening. Now, one thing that I don't think that we touched on is there is an evening where we have a bit of a bonfire and we're all talking. That was moving. We had young men opening up and sharing stories that were powerful. And they were talking about who they choose to be when they come back to the city. When they come back to town in Phoenix, they are declaring, right, under the stars in front of everybody there, they were declaring what their mission was and what they intended to do, and to hold each other accountable for that upcoming year. And some of these things we can forget, but these are powerful moments that can transform the trajectory of how a young man is thinking. It's an environment where they're around mentors and leaders that look like them, that can reflect on their personal journeys and how they came up. And it's doing a paradigm shift in how they look at land. We want for them to return back home, and every time they see an empty lot that they drive by, they look at it differently. They don't just see empty land. They're thinking, oh, well, you know, I could, you know, raise cattle on that property, or I could grow food in that property, or I could do so many things based on the seeds that we're planting in the minds of these young people, because we want them to look at land ownership differently, learning how to establish wealth for generations and legacy. We want them to think like that, not become consumers, not to be stuck into materialism and just lose all their money the moment they get it, but learn how to invest and grow with the land and build their own village. That's why you should strongly consider the legacy camp.
Facts. Man, that's dope, man. You reminded me of the you know, of that night, man. That was powerful. It was very powerful. And you know, we're creating a safe space, man. That's the other thing too, is that these young men are getting to experience what we call a safe space, you know, that allows them to really be themselves without judgment. You know, the whole world is looking out at our young black men. But this space is created with intention to allow for them the opportunity to be able to, you know, to be in a safe space. So that's dope. Thank you for reminding us of that, Brother James. Brother Crondo, what about you, man? Same question, man. You know, somebody that's out there looking, I'm a parent, you know, maybe I'm a father, right? And I feel like, you know, why should I even send my son to this camp? You know what I mean? Like what would you say?
I think first and foremost, I think it's dope just to show the young brothers that black men can come together and accomplish something. That's hardly seen, it's hardly heard. And the facet that we're doing it is pretty rambunctious, and it's pretty awesome. So I think first and foremost, it's dope for them to be able to see that. Also, being a black man who was once a young black man, I personally wish that I had this when I was a young man. I wish I had mentors such as myself and you know the team that we have, just to be able to have that camaraderie with, have that you know, big uncle type of vibe with. That's going to give it to you straight. That's going to give you some game, some knowledge, some empowerment, and you know, just confidence on how to go back into the world and then how to like carry yourself as a proud black man. I think that's what's definitely needed for the culture, for us to move forward as a people, and just for the young man to become leaders in the community, leaders in their household, leaders of their family. You know, and I think that is vital. So that's what I would say, bro.
It's our time, man. We've been sleeping for so long, man, as the old adage would say. But it's our time now, and you know, I'm just proud to be a part of a collective of brothers, you know, like-minded brothers who, you know, are ambitious, as you mentioned, right, rambunctious, and just getting it. We're out there doing what we say we're coming to accomplish, man. Speaking of that, man, I got to give a shameless plug. If you haven't checked out episode number 48 from Lyman Lake, you need to go back and check that episode out. We got some dope content on the podcast, man. If this is your first time tapping in with us, whether you're tapping in live, man, like, share, and subscribe. Let's beat the algorithm. Let's get the algorithm up. We're sharing some positivity here in the community collectively. So, you know, support what we got going on, man. We're out here doing what we should be doing collectively as men, as a body of believers, as people. And that's what we're doing, man. And we're doing that collectively. And like I said, I'm just proud to be a part of the collective community and sharing this experience with the young men. So if you haven't already tapped into our website, so growspot.org/camp, that's where you can find out all the information regarding the Legacy Camp. That's what we're here for today, is talking about the camp itself and giving you a little bit of the orientation. Check out our podcast as well, Plot in Progress. And before we get out of here, I do have to also roll this as well, man. So I got this loaded up just to give you guys an idea. A lot of people ask us a lot of the times, man, you know, how is it that we can support what you guys got going on? We got a lot that's going on out there, man. If you guys haven't seen the videos, it gives you an idea of just the work collectively that we're doing. So I want to share this real quick, and then you know, we'll open it up for further questions and for further comment.
I'm L.E.G.A.C.Y, Executive Director of the Growth Spot Foundation. And what we're doing here at the Growth Spot is more than just building fences or putting together decks or working on outhouses. But what we're doing is we're building a community that is rooted in resiliency and sustainability. What we love to do is we love to teach our community self-sufficiency. And if you would love to be able to support us in many of our endeavors, like the Legacy Camp, like helping us to continue to secure our land, and many of the other projects that we're going to, then you can donate going directly to our website at thegrowthspot.org, or you can actually outfit yourself in some fly merch. You can go to our page at bonfire.com. You just got to search for the Growth Spot, and you'll see that we have a campaign for Legacy and many other projects that we have coming down the pipeline. Remember, we are 501c3, so every time you donate, you have the ability to get it back on your taxes. So take advantage of the tax deduction, take advantage of an opportunity to support the youth of our community, but more importantly, take an opportunity to invest in all of us as part of the community, because what we're doing here is bigger than me, it's bigger than my brother, it's even bigger than my son here. This is something that we're doing for the community. This is called legacy. It's love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperation, and yield. Again, thegrowthspot.org is how you can support us. If you want to be able to be dripped out in some fly merch, then you can go to bonfire.com, just search for the Growth Spot, and you can go ahead and you can cop some merch, and all of the proceeds go to all of the different projects that we have going on. First and foremost, upcoming is the Legacy Camp. We have our fence project ongoing, and you can check our website and see some of the other projects that we have going. Support our community, support our youth, support yourself. Clarking up the culture, clearing the fog while we chop it with the young ones out by the log. Legacy.
Yeah, man. So that's you know, if you can't see what we got going on, man, and you haven't already tapped in with us, man, look, don't miss out on the opportunity to really support some brothers that's actually doing some great work in the community, man. This is what we're doing. We're leaving a legacy. We're building a legacy, man. So let's open it up, man, for any other questions as well, or any other comments from the brothers as well while we're here.
Yeah, I would just add on, like, just don't miss out on a good thing while it's going. And we're gonna do everything in our will to keep this going and make sure we have a sustainable effort. But you know, we often hear about what's not being done and what we don't have. You know, let's just focus on pouring in to what is moving, what is apparent, what is tangible, and let's enhance our efforts collectively from there instead of focusing on the voids. Let's just, you know, bridge the gaps with what is tangible in front of us, and you know, pay homage to the people that are actually being productive and mobilizing on these things. The best way you can honor people is to keep the work that they, you know, had going, just keep that going. That's the best way you can honor anything. So yeah, I just encourage people to get involved. Even if you can't participate directly in this effort, we're open to volunteers and also, you know, any other contributions that you could make. And then on an educational front, like Plot and Progress, I just want to shout that out again. We got a lot of great content. We still got more on the way. It's a very educational platform that will help introduce others to this sort of like world. And it's also educational to all of us as well. So very enjoyable way to educate ourselves and share that content with others. So it's, you know, fair exchange, no robbery. You know, we all about, you know, equity. That's one of our pillars, you know, and I think Plot and Progress is a testament of that. So tap in. We usually have weekly episodes. The YouTube channel, you can find it through our website or any of our platforms below.
Yeah, well, we got like 48 right now, almost close to 50.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, technically this makes what 49 technically for us. So yeah.
I mean, we've done it all, a little bit of everything. Everything from personal defense, survivalism, aquaponics, agriculture. Man, a lot of stuff. A lot.
For Exodus.
Yeah, man, don't get me started.
Yeah, man. So again, man, if you haven't already checked out those episodes, you know, tap in with us. We've got a lot of information, and we're giving the game away for free. If you want to understand how we got started collectively, I know there's a lot of brotherhood that came along with it as well. So that's something that, you know, we teach that throughout. If you follow the whole season, we teach that throughout. But yeah, man, we give you the free game of how we got it done. So yeah, go back and check out the episodes if you haven't already. And like we always say, you know, like, share, and subscribe, and let's beat the algorithm. You know, share with a friend, a family member, a colleague. You know, let them know the dope work that all of you are involved in, because we couldn't do it without you. So that's the reality too. So let's see, man. We'll give it for a few more seconds, see if we've got any questions or anybody that wants to hop on. We do have the link that's also posted for the live stream that we got going on right now. So if anybody wants to hop on, feel free to tap in with the link that's down below. You can jump in.
I would like to say too, closing out, even if you for the parents watching, for the adults watching, if your child's not able to make it, tell a friend, you know, tell a family member, tell a coworker, you know, about the camp, about the programs that we got, or even just about us as a collective. We're doing a lot of great things in the community. We're actually boots on the ground with it, you know, and I'm sure you know, everyone can bear witness to that. So yeah, just if your child or son, young man is not able to make it, just spread the word about it is all we ask. Spread the word about it.
Cost you $3.99 to be able to do that. Just spread the word about the collective mission that we got going on. And I did want to also raise a little bit of excitement about something that we got that's a little bit different this year. So last year for our legacy camp, we were actually installing a lot of the T-posts. So we took the men down, we showed them what the auger was, and we actually got them involved with being able to do the auger, with actually hammering down some of the T-posts. But this year, we're actually expanding our efforts and we're moving forward with actually doing the barbed wire. So they're going to get the opportunity to be able to get some hands-on with actually doing barbed wire fencing. You know what I mean? That's a skill that I did it as a child, but I think I'm one of the only ones in the group that actually had the opportunity to actually do it hands-on as a child. And I hadn't touched it in years, but just being able to see it come together, man, it was just so beautiful. So they're going to get an opportunity to be able to participate in that. That's something that's new. And this year, we also have a concrete mixer. So last year, we actually poured the concrete and mixed it by hand. But this year, they're going to get to see a little bit of the automated work of what a concrete mixer will actually do for us. So those are some of the differences that they can expect this particular year with the Legacy Camp. And then as always, it's going to be a great experience for them. Just anybody that's joining, that's tapping in with us, it's going to be a great experience. I already know this, and I'm looking forward to it, man. Excited.
So in other words, pulling them away from the Wi-Fi for a couple of days, it ain't gonna hurt them.
Come on, it ain't gonna hurt them.
A kid in place doesn't hurt nobody. Just a reminder, I think we probably already covered it, but if you don't have a child that can go to the camp, we welcome, we welcome sponsorships as well. So if you like what we doing and you want to support, you can sponsor a child going as well.
That's a fact, man. And think about this as well. Consider sponsoring a young man as well. So we do offer the opportunity as well for you to jump on and sponsor young men for any of our future camps. This is something that's not going away. This is something that we are dedicated to here at the Growth Spot. And so, again, this is opportunity as well to support the future legacy that we're leaving as well. So that being said, let's close it out, man. So here at the Growth Spot, we're unified in action to build, protect, and expand a fruitful legacy of love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperation, and yield. By inspiring and educating on the practices of agriculture, self-care, nutrition, environmental stewardship, and entrepreneurship, we aim to cultivate a vibrant community that's rooted in resilience and sustainability. Peace.
Peace.